Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of County Commissioners. May I get a motion on the consent calendar, please?
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Shiprack moves. Commissioner Kafori seconds approval of the consent calendar. All in favor vote aye. Aye. Opposed? The consent calendar is approved. Do we have any public comment this morning?
Yes, Chair, we do. Public comment, opportunity for public comment on non-agenda matters, testimony limited to 3 minutes per person unless otherwise designated by the presiding officer. If you will please come forward when I call your name and have a seat at the presenters table, Michael Jennings, Richard Laughlin, and Lauren Hudson. Any one of you can start?
Yeah. Well, you can go first, sir.
Okay. I've written 3 pages here, which...
I'm sorry, but if you could just state your name for the record first.
Oh, yes. Yes, my name is Michael Jennings from Future Power Technology Support. I've written 3 pages which discuss managerial issues about the library system. And it seems that those issues have some bearing on the library district. And one, I'll just mention, I've submitted PDF copies of this, so I don't need to talk about it in depth, but it really does seem as though there should be a thorough financial review of the Multnomah County library system. And I've given reasons why. So that's all.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Morning, sir.
My name is Lauren Hudson. I live in North Portland. I'd like to speak briefly about the fluorides in coal. Since the commissioner, the county commissioner chair had been quoted as being concerned about that, and I want to read from the evidence that's presented from the Department of Chemistry and Center for Applied Research at the University of Kentucky. And it says, among other things, that the average fluorine content of U.S. coal is, according to the tabulation of Swanson et al., is 74 micrograms per gram, which would be, in water, would be 74 parts per million, which is 74 times what they recommend, according to City Council testimony last week. I wish to question the fact that in a recent news report, you were quoted as saying that you were concerned about the transportation of coal through this area because it contained arsenic and lead. And I wonder why you didn't mention fluoride.
Thank you, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Richard Laughlin. I'm lived in Portland for 64 years. My family's been here for 102. I genuinely want to compliment this commission on their brave stance against this coal and diesel pollution. Without hesitation, I genuinely admire your position. In politically correct Portland, to me, you're quite brave. My normal life, I'm kind of a car guy, comedian, affable oaf, but this is a serious issue today. I've done a lot of research. For what it's worth, I've done graduate level research in my regular life, and I know how to research an issue. Anyway, here goes. In my opinion, the following is true. Health, safety, and Americans with disability issues at the proposed Bybee Street light rail station. You have an illustration there and script on the back. First topic is diesel exhaust fumes and coal dust. This will be the most polluted rail station in the TriMet system. 3 huge diesel locomotives pound through this station day and night 35 feet from the station. The coal trains will bring another 30 locomotives per day, causing more exhaust fumes and dust. Diesel exhaust fumes are carcinogenic and proven to be horribly damaging to fetuses and infants. Second issue, ADA compliance. I get my information here from TriMet's own engineers about ADA compliance. The Bybee Street overpass is not ADA compliant. Title 642.2 of the 1990 Americans with Disability Act mandates a 5-foot grade. The grade here is 8 foot with no platforms. TriMet will lose its federal funding for non-compliance. Third issue is personal safety. The platform is under a bridge next to a railroad track. A rider could get mugged or worse and not heard or seen by a passing motorist. You know, I'm more than willing to give a walking tour of the Bybee Street overpass and the issues. I've left my phone number here. I don't know, do I have any time left?
You can continue, sir.
Okay. I have to say, it's hard here. I have a personal interest in this issue about damage to unborn babies. 1979, they were doing aerial spraying on the Oregon coast in Lincoln County. My brother and sister-in-law were newly married, and they had a baby there in Newport. Little guy only had 3 years on this planet. It came out later that this aerial spraying had caused an inordinate number of stillbirths and birth defects. This is the biggest tragedy that ever hit my family. This little guy was 3 years old. He had curly red hair. He was a little Irish American. This station next to those noxious exhaust fumes, it goes beyond the pale. I mean, it's an outrage beyond the pale. I really don't care about TriMet and their executives. I don't care about Union Pacific Railroad. I don't care about the coal industry. I care about future unborn Portlanders. I don't want anybody else's family to have the same kind of tragedy that happened to mine. Now, you can go on the web and this issue of diesel exhaust fumes, all you got to do is go on Google, diesel exhaust fumes, and put cancer. I can't tell you. The other issue is I've grown up in Portland, so I know a lot of different people. I had 3 guys from school.
So you need to kind of...
Okay, I had 3 guys from school that died an early death on the railroad from cancer. My neighbor Merle died of cancer. My neighbor Jackie's father died of cancer, all railroad workers before their 60th birthday. Jackie's father was only 41. My grandfather, Francis William O'Malley, died from railroad cancer, and my mother was orphaned at 11. These are real world deals. I mean, real issues. This is not conjecture by, some nutcase. This is real stuff, and I'm outraged, but I'm an educated person, and it's hard to retain your civility. But this thing just does not work. Okay, and excuse me, it's such a personal issue. I'm sorry.
It's okay, sir.
I'm a little upset.
I understand. Thank you very much for coming in this morning.
R1, proclamation proclaiming September 2012 Recovery Month in Multnomah County, Oregon.
So moved.
Commissioner Shiprack moves, Commissioner Kafoury seconds approval of R1.
Good morning, Chair Kogan and Commissioners. My name is David Hidalgo, and I am the Director for our Mental Health and Addiction Services Division here at Multnomah County. And today, I'm pleased to be here with Devarshi Bajpai, our Addictions Manager for the division, and 2 of our addiction recovery contractors here in Multnomah County. And today, we are here to support the statewide proclamation recognizing September as Alcohol and Drug Addiction Recovery Month. Here in Multnomah County, the county provides a range of addiction services in the community, and those services include prevention, detoxification, residential treatment, and outpatient treatment. In terms of numbers of individuals who benefit from the services and the funds that you as the Board of County Commissioners allocate, approximately 6,000 adults are served in our community each year. Approximately 180 youth will receive a range of services, and approximately 67 families will receive housing support in recovery-focused communities. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Devarshi Bajpai to talk more on recovery.
Good morning, Chair, Commissioners. My name, like David mentioned, is Devarshi Bajpai. I'm the Addiction Services Manager for Mental Health and Addictions at DCHS. I'm talking about recovery today. I often say that recovery is kind of the invisible part of the addiction process. Everybody sees the impact of active addiction, where we see crime, disrupted families, people on the streets. You all see treatment, and that you fund it, like David mentioned, and we fund treatment. We understand that it works. But the part that we don't see is when people go through treatment, they get back into the community, they get jobs, they get houses, they get families, they blend into society, and it becomes a part of society. We've talked for years about how treatment works, but one of the things that we don't talk about a lot is that the treatment works because of a large network of recovering people. And there are tens of thousands of people in the Portland, Multnomah County area that are in recovery, and they really provide the support to our treatment services at DCHS and DCJ that really lead to the outcomes that we get. So we have two people that are speaking today that kind of are major parts of that kind of invisible safety net. Corbett Monica is the founder of Dual Diagnosis Anonymous, and Dion Preston, the program manager at the Miracles Club in Northeast Portland. So I'm just going to pass it on to actually Dion.
Hi, my name is Dion. I am the program manager for the Miracles Club, and what we do is called Recovery Support Services. And it's not actual clinical treatment. It is more or less peer mentoring. We believe, that addicts do get clean, they do have productive lives, but we want to add that special support of one addict helping another. What happens when they leave treatment? How do they transition from treatment? And what worked for me, being not only a provider but a recipient of services, was mentoring. So I'm really proud to be in recovery and to have a month that's celebrated, especially for me. But I'm also proud that I can work with individuals and watch their lives change and share my experiences and my hopes. I'm glad to be a part of a mission from the ED that was started out grassroots in a warehouse that is now a $12.5 million building, and get these people together in the community, get their families together, help them stay out of jail, help them get jobs. And then in September, we all come together. It doesn't matter what color, what your drug of choice was, and we celebrate each other. And that's really important. I want to thank you guys for recognizing that.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Corbett Monica. I'm the founder of a peer support group for people with serious mental illnesses and addiction. Our greatest presence is in Multnomah County, where perhaps approximately 20% of our 3,500 or so consumers attend meetings in this county. Recovery Month honors and recognizes the fact that recovery works, so I'd like to read the statement, which should take about 1 minute and 38 seconds if my clock is working.
We'll give you 1 minute and 39.
Thank you, Chairman Cogan. It's good to see you again. In 1965, while serving in the United States Marine Corps, I volunteered to go to South Vietnam with the understanding that our help was needed to save the country from a foreign invasion. Not having amounted to much in my 18 years of life, I viewed this as an opportunity to maybe do something noble for a change, redemption of sorts. The war had a profound impact on me, especially because I returned without my best friend, who'd not get the chance to see his newborn daughter. I returned from overseas in September of 1968 and landed in San Diego, California with a plane full of veterans. We were greeted by a chorus of anger and hateful comments. I did not understand much about depression, grieving, loss, survivor's guilt, or PTSD. I only sought relief through a hopeless addiction. After receiving the last rites twice in a 2-week period for heroin overdoses, I was involuntarily committed for treatment in a locked psychiatric hospital for serious symptoms of mental illness and addiction, a condition known as dual diagnosis. Treatment took some time to gain traction towards my recovery because although I accepted my addiction, I struggled with the idea of being mentally ill. As a result, I again turned to addiction, this time with methamphetamines, for relief. But some 26 years ago, at age 39, I'll be 66 in November, I read a book by St. John of the Cross titled The Dark Night of the Soul. I realized almost instantaneously that what I was seeking in my addiction, what every addict is seeking, was transcendence. I was not evil. I was seeking what could not be found through using. Recovery is holding fast with all our might to the heartfelt and burning desire to transcend our suffering and redirect those destructive energies into recovery and service. This is what treatment and support teaches us, and it works. Recovery works. I can tell you that although I'm not proud of some things about my past that resulted from my addiction, I would not change a thing because it brought me here and gives me the opportunity to try and inspire hope for others struggling with addictions and mental illnesses. I'm very fond of saying there's no amount of drugs that can make me feel better than I do right here, right now, in this moment, and that is my fervent hope and prayer for anybody, whether they're in recovery or not. Thank you very much for allowing me the opportunity to be here.
Thank you for being here.
And with that, that completes our comments, and we'd like to thank you for observing and recognizing the Alcohol and Addiction Recovery Month. That is a statewide proclamation that has come from the governor of our state. So as you hear from Corbett and Dion about the services that they are providing to contribute to the health of our community, that is one of the values that our county has, healthy communities, and both of these providers sitting next to us right here, that our county contractors are contributing to that. So thank you very much.
You want to read the proclamation?
I would be happy. In fact, I'm going to have Devarshi read that proclamation.
Okay, great.
It's proclamation number 2012-148, proclaiming September 2012 Recovery Month in Multnomah County, Oregon. The Multnomah County Board of Commissioners finds, A, behavioral health is an essential part of health and one's overall wellness, and prevention works, treatment is effective, and people can and do recover from substance use and mental disorders. And B, all people have the fundamental and inherent value to be accepted and treated with respect, human dignity, and worth. And C, individuals should have access to fully participate in community life, including economic advancement and prosperity, fair and decent housing, quality education, positive opportunities to benefit from and contribute to material, cultural, and social progress. And D, education is key to understanding that substance use and mental disorders are treatable and that people should seek assistance for these conditions with the same urgency as they would for any other health condition. And E, substance use and mental disorders are serious public health problems, but recovery is possible and positively benefits the nation's overall well-being. The Multnomah County Board of Commissioners proclaims the month of September 2012 as Recovery Month in Multnomah County, Oregon. We invite all residents of Multnomah County to observe this month with activities that support this year's theme. Join the Voices of Recovery. It's worth it.
Great. Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Shiprack.
If I could just comment, I know that this is really tremendously good public policy, and I want to thank you for your advocacy for that. It makes so much sense in a policy sense. On a personal level, I'm always moved by the amount of courage that is displayed by the 6,000 people that David, your department is treating and that you're coming into contact with, but their courage to change and make their lives better. Thank you for your testimony.
Commissioner Kafoury.
Thank you. I want to pile on with the congratulations and the thank yous. Especially want to thank you both for coming forward and sharing your stories, and to congratulate you not only on your years of recovery, but also that you have taken this opportunity to help others as well. And I mean, giving back to the community is really a strong value that we have in Multnomah County. And I, just from the bottom of my heart, I'm very appreciative for the work that you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Commissioner McKeel.
Thank you. I will say thank you as well, and for coming forward. And veterans in our military are very near and dear to my heart, so thank you for what you just shared with us. We know we have more issues facing us around this population coming back, and so appreciate your help. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yeah, and I want to thank you all for coming in and for the great work that you do. I think this is an important acknowledgement for us to be making. I think there's probably no more powerful feeling when associated with addiction than hopelessness, and what recovery is about is hope. And it's important for us to support folks who are struggling with addiction with hope, and it's also important for us to share broadly with the community the fact that there is hope and that recovery does work and that treatment does work, because that is what we need to broadly acknowledge so that we can get the resources to serve more than 6,000 people, because we know that as great as that work is, there's a lot more people who need this support. All in favor, vote aye. Aye. Opposed? The proclamation is adopted. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
R2, resolution authorizing the acquisition of real property for a public improvement project on Northeast Halsey Street, County Road 1180 in the city of Wood Village, Oregon.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Shiprack moves. Commissioner Gafori seconds approval of R2. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Patrick Heinzen, right-of-way manager for Multnomah County Transportation, and with me today is Matt Ryan from County Council. We're asking the board with this resolution to approve this resolution authorizing initiation of acquisition activities for a relatively small piece of property that will be the road improvements will be performed in conjunction with a current capital project that was recently awarded. It'll add approximately 50 feet of sidewalk and be done as a change order under the current capital project that we have planned.
Commissioner McKeel?
I have a question. I think last meeting we approved a number of these projects along Halsey
Yes,
Street, correct? And
that's the major capital project, and what happened was we held this particular piece of property in abeyance until we found out what the bids were going to come in at, and they came in for the most part spot on with what the engineer's estimate was. So the contingency fund for this project allows us to expand it slightly to include this piece of property.
Okay, so this is part of the same project.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor, vote aye. Aye. Opposed? The budget modification, or I guess it's the resolution, is adopted.
Thank you. Thank you.
R3, budget modification DCHS 1302, increasing Community Services Division federal state appropriation by $55,398.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Shiprack moves. Commissioner Gafori seconds approval of R3. Good morning.
Good morning. Mary Lee, County Human Services. This budget modification is truing up our actual revenues with the adopted budget. The bulk of the funds actually are not state and federal dollars. They're actually community dollars, support for our shelter and support efforts for children who have been commercially sexually exploited. And I want to pull this, bring this particularly to your attention because it's a result of tremendous partnership and work among a number of faith-based organizations and their commitment to this issue through the leadership of Commissioner McKeel and others. These relationships are strong, they're vibrant, they're growing, and these dollars, the almost $46,000, are actually donations that were raised directly to support our shelter and to match the dollars that the board has put into the Athena House. So that is the bulk of this Bud Mod, and it allows those dollars to continue to be spent in very wise and efficient manner. They didn't spend them last year. We're carrying them over so that they continue to spend them in the most effective way possible and stretch every dollar we have to support these services.
We like wise, efficient stretching of dollars.
Yes.
Board comments, Commissioner McKeel.
Thank you. As Mary said, this shows the partnership that we have around ending the commercial sexual exploitation of children, and the faith-based community has really stepped up and said we want to help in any way we can, and so they have gathered these donations, and mostly under the lead of the Imago Dei community, but many of the faith-based communities have come together around this, so they really recognize the severity of this issue and want to help, and so we're very appreciative for their help around this issue.
Great. All in favor vote aye. Aye. Opposed? The budget modification is approved.
Thank you.
That actually brings us to the end of our regular agenda. We do have time set aside for any non-agenda items any commissioner would like to bring forward. Commissioner McKeel.
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you again to our staff for their donations to the school supply drive that we ran through the month of August, and we received word that the overall school supply drive provided supplies for over 10,000 students. So we're very pleased to be a part of that and do our part to help these students be off to a very successful school year. So thank you to all of our staff that donated.
And Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Shiprack.
And I just want to thank Commissioner Kafori for representing the board so well in the September Bike to Work competition arena. Thank you, Commissioner.
It was especially interesting writing this morning in these.
Wow, really?
Scary.
Did you really?
No.
Corey can give you some tips.
It's all you style first.
Wow.
Exercise second.
Very impressive.
And I want to say thank you to my staff for holding up the end of the bike challenge, because where I live, it's just not going to be me that's doing this.
And then last but not least, yesterday was Commissioner McKeel's birthday. Happy day after your birthday. And there being no further business, we're adjourned.
Yes.